with your main Chip Washington. When it comes to information, the main got an arsenal. Bring you up to speed with what you need. He's the local and nationwide news feed. Let's talk about it. Dialect to do something about it. Chip got the flow wide open if you got questions about it. Man, it's the show that brings you to your raw. To solve all problems, it starts with real talk. Real talk. It's 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 real talk. Yeah. Welcome to Real Talk with your host, Chip Washington. It's real talk. It's real talk. It's real talk.
And here we go on this wet, rainy, cold, kind of chilly Monday evening in the city. 6 o'clock straight up, which means it is time, ladies and gentlemen, for an all new and live Real Talk Memphis. Glad to have you with us. I am your humble host. My name is Chip Washington. Glad to be here. It's messy out there. It was a kind of a tough little ride in here. So if you're going to be out and about at any point this evening, please allow yourself the time you need. Take your time out there. Watch out for the other person because they sure ain't watching out for you. Pardon the grammatical misphrasing. So just be careful all the way around. Glad to have you with us. We have a good show for you this evening, and I just want you to sit back, relax, and take it easy. Stay out of the weather and just kind of turn us on wherever it is or however it is you turn us on. Speaking of, there are many ways you can get this fine piece of radio broadcasting. The number one way, of course, is WYXR 91.7 on your FM dial. We are on live right now. Of course, we are also on the WYXR app. You can find us on the TuneIn app. We are live streaming this evening, so you can catch us on Facebook Live. And when the show posts in the next couple of days or so, you will be able to find us on YouTube. And we are a podcast. Did you know we're a podcast? We're actually a podcast. So you can find us wherever it is, and I do mean wherever it is, you get your favorite podcast. And we hope that you count us among that group. In terms of attendance this evening, well, I'm here, and Lola's here, and Brent is here. And we actually, in terms of the guest list, one of our guests is in studio, too. Our first guest in just a couple of minutes will be the district attorney for Shelby County. He is Mr. Steve Mulroy. He'll be joining me in just a couple of minutes live here in studio. A little bit later on, we will be speaking with State Representative Gabby Salinas, and this was the first time that I have had her on this show, so I'm looking forward to having that conversation. And a little bit later on, we will be speaking with Dr. Bruce Randolph. He is the interim director of the Shelby County Health Department. You remember last week we were a little discombobulated, but we got everything going last week. He came on very, very, very end, so we only had just a brief time with him, but we'll have a little bit longer a little later on in the broadcast second half hour of the show. So there you go. There's the rundown. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the broadcast in spite of all this rain. You know, they have there's a restaurant here. Lola, what's the name of that new restaurant here that they have the folks that park cars? What are they? The valets. Yeah, but this one over there, this right next to us here. Yeah, they have folks out there. They park your car and do all that kind of stuff. Valet is what they have, and they're here like every Monday night. So I'm thinking, is this a big deal? Have you been there yet?
I have. It's very tasty.
Oh, it's good.
Yep, and I got good drinks.
You gotta recommend that. You gotta. What did you say? A drink too?
I said they have good drinks.
Okay, yeah. She said Lola recommends it. She said you should go. All right. So listen, as we get into the broadcast here, we like to celebrate folks who are celebrating another trip around the sun, i.e. birthdays. And, of course, if today was your birthday, I hope you had a wonderful day. If you had some celebrations over the weekend or you got some coming up this weekend as well. This is where we do this little thing I like to call the shout out. We shout you out all over the radio, and folks who didn't know will know in just a moment. But I can't do all of that or any of that until I say, hit it, Brent. Happy birthday going out to the following. Dr. Talisa Franklin, celebrating her birthday today. Kevin Kane, who is the big boss down at the Convention and Visitors Bureau, right? The tourism arm of things. It's his birthday today. Kim Benton, former colleague of mine in television, celebrating her birthday today, as is Casey Allen. Happy birthday to you. Bruce Thompson, happy birthday to Tia Jackson and Joanne Burnett Burley. Now, there's one more birthday I would like to mention, and I think he listens every now and again on the West Coast here. Cousin Dale. Cousin Dale is celebrating his birthday today. He lives in Las Vegas, Nevada. That is where he resides, along with his brother Kenny. So happy birthday, Dale. It's been a great day for you. And for all of you who celebrated a birthday today, happy birthday. We hope that this day was filled with... Oh, I'm sorry, Lola. Lola has a birthday. Go ahead, Lola.
Happy birthday to my cousin, Rosario Robinson, and my dear friend, Miss Charnel Smith. We had Charnel on the show.
Yeah, I remember that. Happy birthday, Charnel, from Lola. See, there you go. From all of us here at the Real Talk Memphis family. We hope today is filled with love and laughter. And we hope to be with you next year for your next trip around the sun. Thanks, Brent. So we did have one death to report today. Jimmy Cliff. If you are a reggae person or you're a reggae fan, we all know about Bob Marley. But Jimmy Cliff was just as big as he was during in the reggae music scene. He died at the age of 81. He's an inductee of the Music Hall of Fame. He succumbed to illness over the weekend at 81. So we send our condolences in reference to that. Now, in terms of news and notes, there was a press event this afternoon. The U.S. Attorney General, Pam Bondi, flew in this afternoon with a couple of the state senators, United States senators, Marsha Blackburn and Haggerty, I think is the other one. And they wanted to give a progress report on the Memphis Safe Task Force. Well, they extolled the virtues. They talked about how great it's been. They've had over 3,100 arrests, and God knows how many tickets have been issued in all of this. And of course, the ICE effort is ongoing. And oh, by the way, the governor was there. Governor Lee was there. Now, last week, the individuals who were plaintiffs in a case filed an injunction that said the governor was unlawfully having the National Guard here. Well, they actually won that case. The state has appealed, so now they're waiting for a decision as to whether this effort can continue or it's time to send the boys from the Guard, boys and girls from the Guard, home. I have said from the beginning, and I will continue to say it, I don't know why they're here, because they have no law enforcement authority whatsoever. And I don't think I'm alone in that thought process, but nonetheless, that's what I think. And we'll find out soon enough. So I think that this was a play. I told the DA before this came on that one of the things that they mentioned, in addition to the 3,100 arrests and thousands of tickets being issued, that there were 120, I think I said, 120 children that were missing children, supposedly. 100, let me say that again, 120 missing children. We live in Memphis, right? In Shelby County, we watch the news, we keep up what's going on. I had no idea. I don't think anybody else did either. But that's a whole nother conversation. That's sort of playing with terminology as far as I'm concerned. But in any event, so they had to put on a big show this afternoon and kind of let everybody know this is working. And I will promise you this, they, meaning the governor and whatever means necessary, are going to do everything they can to keep these guys here for as long as possible. Mark my words, I think it's going to happen. We'll talk to the DA about that in just a moment. Let me see here. A federal judge earlier this afternoon threw out the cases against the New York District Attorney Letitia James and James Comey, saying that the prosecutor was illegally appointed. It's a mess. And clearly right now they're exonerated. The White House comment this afternoon was, this is not over yet. So they're bound and determined to do whatever they're bound and determined to do. But as of right now, both those individuals were exonerated and the case has been thrown out. And just a reminder, of course, Thursday is Thanksgiving. And of course, all of our attention should turn towards helping other folks in need. And that is happening once again this year. It's the Memfeast 2025. It happened, actually started today, and it goes right on through Thursday. There are several churches in the area today. Golden Gate Cathedral gave out food from 1 to 3 o'clock. Tomorrow, Broad Baptist Church will give out food from noon to 2 p.m. On Wednesday, New Direction Church will give out food baskets from 9:30 until noon. And, of course, Thursday, which is Thanksgiving, is, of course, the official Memphis Day, where they feed hundreds and hundreds of people each and every year. This year, of course, at Christ Missionary Baptist Church, located on South Parkway. That food event will happen from 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. And again, food boxes, as I mentioned, will be distributed for the next 2 days leading into Thanksgiving. So let us do our part and try to help each other and especially help those in need during this time of year. That's a look at news and notes. Let me take a quick break, and when we come back, we will be visited by our district attorney. He is Mr. Steve Mulroy. I'm Chip. You know who you are. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Celebrate the wrap of WYXR's biggest event on Saturday night, December 6th from 9 to 11 p.m. at Crosstown Concourse. The Raised by Soundfest after party will transform Crosstown's East Atrium into a house music, audio-visual wonderland with a once-in-a-lifetime collab between the legendary Larry Heard, Mr. Fingers himself, Cloudland Canyon, and Kid Millions.
Not only does your ticket get you into this unforgettable immersive experience, it comes with complimentary eats, cocktails, wine, and beer, along with tooth gems by Maggie Bearden and portraits by Cheers Photo Company.
All proceeds go to WYXR. We'll be talking about this one for a long time, so get your tickets now at raisedbysoundfest.com.
Whether it's a clunker or a classic, your car can keep Memphis grooving. Free pickup, tax deductible, and all for WYXR. Donate your vehicle at cars.wyxr.org.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening in the city. Chip with you. And of course, glad to have you on the show, which we're setting up here, ladies and gentlemen. We're trying to get the DA's mic set up here. But as I said, you know, it's been a very busy time. And for all of us here in the city, no more so than our district attorney. And I'm very happy that he has taken a couple of minutes to come visit with us in person tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the district attorney of Shelby County, Steve Mulroy. It's good to see you, sir. Wave to the people on Facebook. There you go. That's him, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you.
Good to be seen. Happy to be here.
And so listen, there's a little bit to talk about in all of this. As I mentioned at the top of the show, we had a press update this afternoon from the United States District Attorney about this Memphis Safe Task Force. Was there any thought? Let me just back up to the very beginning of all of this, if I can, in terms of conversation or anything else about the real goal in this, first of all, and secondly, with all of the activity that we've seen, I think I mentioned we've had over 3,100 arrests, which directly impacts you in your office. But in terms of all of this, could you ever have imagined where we are with all of this right now?
I would not have imagined this if you had asked me 6-8 months ago, is the National Guard going to come to Memphis? I would have said no, that's a ridiculous idea. There's no emergency, there's no flood, there's no earthquake, there's no mass riots, there's no, breakdown in the ability of local law enforcement to enforce the law. None of the things that you would normally think about that with the National Guard deployment. And then if you had told me, do you think that over 1,000 federal agents would come? I would not have bet on that either. I think we live in interesting times.
Absolutely. Well, that's an understatement, no doubt about it. And the more I hear these conversations coming from other folks, it seems as if they're really trying to paint Memphis with this really dark brush. You know what I mean? And I think we're being made an example of in the country. This effort to we know that beforehand crime was trending downward.
Right.
We were seeing the results of all of that.
Right.
And then you bring all of this heaviness in here, and you compound that with everything else that's going on. And I think that people really feel put upon. Now, this National Guard issue, as we discussed, they have no law enforcement authority whatsoever. They're just here.
Right.
And we don't know exactly how many of them are here. We heard it could be 200 or 300 of them here. And there's plans by the governor to bring even more down here.
That's right.
And with no explanation as to why. How frustrated has this made you in terms of the dissemination or lack thereof dissemination of information coming from the heads of the task force to us as the general public?
So there's a lot there in that question. Let me try to parse it out. In terms of the communication, in the build up to this, I think it was unfortunate that just how negative a picture of Memphis that people in the federal government were painting. I mean, no question, we've got a bad crime problem. Our crime problem is bad compared to other cities, but as you correctly pointed out, crime had been going down dramatically. We've had 7 consecutive quarters of double-digit percentage drops in crime across all categories, and so it was trending downward. Mm-hmm. In terms of what they're doing, I don't really think the National Guard adds much. I think that quite the contrary, it might detract from the overall effort. But when it comes to the federal law enforcement agents, I welcome federal law enforcement assistance if it's the right kind of assistance. So to the extent that they're serving warrants that are outstanding, we've got a big problem with a backlog of outstanding warrants. I think that's wonderful, and I appreciate their help. To the extent that they're doing traffic stops, traffic stops for moving violations that actually do directly influence public safety, like reckless driving and speeding and things like that, and
sure.
DUI, absolutely.
Yeah.
Is it really helping that we go to a lot of low-income neighborhoods and do a lot of tickets for expired tags and broken taillights and things hanging from the rearview mirror or seatbelt violations? Well, I think that's less useful. According to our data, about 20% of the arrests are immigration. And we're not talking about people who have committed serious crimes and are thus being deported as a result. We're talking about people who've basically been law-abiding citizens, taxpayers, have families here. They're not here legally. That's technically true. And so we're separating their families and sending them out.
Right.
No matter what you think about that, I'm not sure that how much that contributes to our public safety issue here in Memphis. I think Mayor Young said it really well when he said, we don't have an immigration problem in Memphis. We have a crime problem in Memphis.
Yeah, and I think that particular point that you just mentioned, the immigration issue, the ICE issue in terms of immigration, is getting a lot more attention now because of so many people being picked up, and more importantly, kind of the way folks have been treated in this process. We feel like our brown brothers and sisters have been being waylaid on and a bit persecuted in all of this, and this is under the guise of, as I heard someone say today, we're arresting the worst of the worst. No, you're not. These are law-abiding citizens who are here trying to make a better life, regardless of circumstance.
Right.
So that is something I think that will get continued focus, and I'm really concerned about that. And I heard you the other day make a statement in terms of the court system. Let's shift there.
Sure.
And you said, look, this is 50% more cases coming in. how, Mr. DA, how do you even begin to parse all of this? I mean, you have a limited staff of individuals who I'm sure have a serious caseload already. I mean, how does all of this work in your world?
Yeah, well, so you're exactly right. We're seeing about a 50% increase in the daily docket of cases we have downstairs in General Sessions Court. That's the first court that a case comes to that deals with pretrial matters and misdemeanor matters.
Sure.
I will tell you, Chip, that so far my staff's been stepping up and handling it. We are handling the caseload. It's required more work, but they're hard workers. What I'm a little more concerned about is, though, things like the jail being overcrowded. And that's a real severe issue.
Yeah.
And I think, the clerk's office, they're doing their best, but I think they're getting swamped too. So right now, our office is able to handle it, but I don't know if that's going to be true in 3 months if this federal surge continues that long.
So in reference to that particular element of it, how do you even start to try to plan ahead in terms of, as you just said, I don't know what's going to happen in 3 months or 6 months down the road here with all of what we have seen. And then I want to get back to the jail issue, but go ahead. Mark.
Sure. Well, it's difficult to plan because we don't know exactly how long the federal surge is going to last. But to give you one example of planning, a massive increase in the number of traffic tickets that were handed out about 5 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And most of the time, the return date, the court date on a traffic ticket is about 6 weeks. So we are expecting a huge deluge in traffic court right after the Thanksgiving holiday.
Oh, goodness.
And as a result, we're reassigning some staff. We're taking some prosecutors who work in other areas and saying, you're going to be on standby duty to go help out in traffic court to help deal with these cases.
There was an issue of trying to maybe access an evening court or a Saturday court. Mm-hmm. I think that was shot down, if I'm not mistaken. How big a mistake is that in your estimation?
I think it's regrettable. I'm for the Saturday court idea. I'm for the couple of evenings a week, one shift, a night court idea. I'm for a safe surrender warrants clinic to help clear up some of the outstanding warrants that we have. I'm for any or all of those things. We're ready to try it all, and I think it's a shame that the different players couldn't get on the same page and couldn't agree to do that. I'm still willing to do it. Our office is still willing to do it. Another suggestion that I've heard recently is to just add more cases on every docket every day in General Sessions Court and just have longer General Sessions, court days. Have the sessions last longer. We're for that too. I mean, our office stands ready to do any or all of those things to help with the huge increase in caseload.
You mentioned a very, very big issue, which is with all these arrests, you have to put them someplace.
Yeah.
And of course, now we have seen that our jail is well overcrowded.
Yep.
To the point of being dangerous. In a lot of ways. You got prisoners can't even get into jail. They have to be in the breezeway down there. That's where they're keeping prisoners. So this is a very untenable situation.
Yep. I
talked to Sheriff Bonner about a week or so ago, and he said that we're getting some money to try to repair some of these doors and locks and some other things. But honestly, does this even fall under a constitutional rights issue in terms of prisoners, people being arrested? It would seem to me, with all of the overabundance of what we've seen, there would have to be, or am I wrong in that?
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. I mean, it's going to be for a court to decide if it ever comes to that. But, I think there definitely are some issues that you've raised that are legitimate issues about conditions in the jail and the overcrowding. I mean, let's face it, the capacity of the jail is 2,400. There are currently over 2,900 people in there.
Crazy.
We're getting to the point now where the sheriff has to put people in jails in surrounding counties and nearby federal, well, not so nearby federal facilities. And, Chip, the problem with that is it's not just a logistical hassle because you have to transport those people from outlying counties to and from court for all their court hearings. It's also a problem in terms of these defendants won't have as much of an ability to consult with their counsel. They won't be able to consult with their lawyers. They won't be able to see their families. And remember, these are people who have not yet been convicted of a crime. These are people who have been accused of a crime, and they're not supposed to be punished under the Constitution and under the law. So having them spread out as far as they are, it's not an ideal situation.
I would think not. And as I look at this every day, we've always had this conversation about the criminal court system, and it's been a little slow, and the processes and things are in terms of all of that. This has to compound, even more in terms of the difficulty of all of this, because what you just said was a very important, and I hope people picked up on that people who are in our facility right now have not been charged with a crime. Convicted of a crime, excuse me. But many of them have been sitting in there for a very long time, and with no determination as to the when, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's a problem. These are people who have not been convicted of a crime, and we're trying to handle their cases as quickly as possible. But there are backlogs, and the increased surge caseload just makes it even harder to handle these cases quickly. So we could definitely use some help, I think, from the federal or state government there.
When this whole effort first started, we all heard about everything happening and stuff. And right now we're dealing with a lack of communication, I think a lack of clarity, and a lot of questions and things that we're asking. Would you say, because I certainly would, that this, from the very beginning, the spirit of cooperation, if you will, that I would have thought would have been the case in all of this, I don't think it happened, and I don't believe that we meaning the city, wasn't involved in this as we should have been, or the county. What's your take on that? Yeah,
my understanding is this was a decision that was made by the federal government and was done to Memphis, as opposed to something that was a collaborative effort. It was done relatively quickly. Probably could have been done with more planning. The city government didn't want it, didn't ask for it. The county government certainly didn't want it. They're even more opposed than the city government. But nonetheless, it's here. And so I think, you just got to make the best of it. Now, like I said before, I want to be clear on this. I welcome the assistance of trained civilian, non-military, federal law enforcement agents, especially if they're going to be helping serve outstanding warrants, particularly in serious cases or in violent cases. I'll even welcome the assistance of the Tennessee Highway Patrol when it comes to speeding and reckless driving and DUI and safety-related things. I'm just not sure whether flooding us with a lot of equipment violation tickets or immigration arrests where there's not actually any criminal activity other than being unlawfully present to the United States, I don't really know if that helps us. And I certainly don't know that there might be better uses of the millions of dollars involved.
That was my final question. The cost. Now we're starting to hear about the cost in all of this, and this could amount up to millions of dollars. Our county government, according to those who know, is about $40 million in the hole, according to the budget. How can we possibly afford to keep this going? And then have to be responsible for paying for it at the end of it?
Yeah, well, it's a good question, and I think there are two different issues. One is, if it is the case that, as was reported by the Commercial Appeal recently, that it's like about $19 million a month, I think it was, to do this, is there a better way that money could be spent that would be more impactful in terms of a long-term solution to our crime problem rather than this? That's one question. And the other question is, when you've got an overcrowded jail and you've got a backlogged court system, those are costs that we're going to have to bear. And I know County Mayor Lee Harris has been very vocal about this.
Yes.
And the question is, who has to pay that? And right now it looks like it's the taxpayers of Shelby County. It would be nice if we could get some help on the back end from our federal and state government partners.
In reference to one final question for you, I think a lot of folks wonder, in reference to some of the things that are coming out and things that we're seeing and hearing, what's going to happen when this situation finally ends and they decide to move on and terrorize another city, as far as I'm concerned?
Well, so here's the thing. You'd like the crime reduction, and to give credit where credit is due, there has been a crime reduction that we have seen since this started. Like you pointed out, crime was already trending downward, but I think the downward trend has become even steeper in the last month.
Sure.
With you have 1,000 federal agents swoop down, that's going to happen, and that's it. But was that sustainable? Are we setting up situations and conditions so that even lower level crime rate will continue even after the feds leave? I'm not so sure. And then on the other hand, you've got critics who have said, I think, not without reason, that the fear in the Latino and immigrant community, the mistrust on the part of some in the lower income black and brown neighborhoods, the whole leeriness about working with law enforcement.
Yeah.
That's a negative we might have to deal with in the months after the federal surge ends.
This is really something, and listen, I want to thank you for taking some time this evening to come and visit with us. This is the very we hadn't really heard a lot from you since all of this started, and I know I've been wanting to get you, and I'm very thankful that you took the time to come and share your thoughts in all of this. So we will continue to watch, and we will continue to wait and see what happens. But I wish you the best of luck, my friend.
Well, thank you very much.
Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family.
Absolutely, and to you as well.
Absolutely. District Attorney Steve Mulroy, ladies and gentlemen, in studio with me. Really appreciate you. Let's take a break, and when we come back, we will continue this Monday ride we like to call Real Talk Memphis. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back.
Support for WYXR comes from Memfo Presents and GPAC, presenting Jeff Tweedy on Wednesday, November 19th at 7:30 p.m. at GPAC, featuring his new album, Twilight Override. Tickets and more information at gpacweb.com.
Huey's is proud to support WYXR's Raised by Sound Fest. Established in 1970 with 10 locations, Huey's menu includes burgers, sandwiches, and more. More information at hueyburger.com.
Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
Okay, so welcome back. And before we let the DA leave, he wanted to mention a very important community event that is happening next week, Mr. DA.
Yeah, thanks for giving me the opportunity,
Sure.
Chip.
Sure.
Every year, our office sponsors what's called the Season of Remembrance,
Yes.
and it's an annual event around this time of year to honor the victims of homicide in Shelby County over the last year. And so the families of all the homicide victims gather. It's really a lovely ceremony. We have a clergy person speak. I make some remarks. We have some music. And then among other things, we have the families come up with candles that they light, and then they light candles on various Christmas trees, each one commemorating a victim of homicide in Shelby County over the last year. And the name of each victim is read and a bell is rung. And it's really a beautiful ceremony.
Yes.
And kind of honors them, and then also raises awareness about the need for us to work together to bring violent crime down.
So this is Monday, where and what time?
It's this Monday, the Monday after Thanksgiving, so that's December 1st. It starts at 6 p.m. It's on the University of Memphis campus in the Rose Theater, which is right next to the University Center.
Right.
There's a nice little reception that starts at 5:30. The program begins at 6, and it usually lasts about 75 minutes.
Thank you for that. And thank you for mentioning that, and thank you for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Take care now.
Absolutely, my friend. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. And I've been to that ceremony. It is very touching and very moving as well. All right, so we're going to move on now. And my next guest is a first-time guest here on Real Talk Memphis. And I am very happy that she was able to make it. She's a first-timer, as I stated. And that's not the only first, but let me introduce her. Ladies and gentlemen, Tennessee State Representative Gabby Salinas joins the show. And Gabby, it's great to see you. Welcome to Real Talk Memphis.
Thank you for having me. I hope it won't be the last time.
I hope not either. I'm looking forward to the conversation. And speaking of first, if I'm not mistaken, are you not the first Hispanic or Latino or whatever the designation is to be elected to the Tennessee House of Representatives?
I'm the first Democratic Hispanic
The first
elected.
Democratic. Okay.
Yeah, Dolores Grisham served in the House and in the Senate before I did.
Okay.
But currently, I'm the only Hispanic in all of Tennessee government.
In all of Tennessee government right now. Well, that's a big deal, and congratulations on that. So, listen, I wanted to have you on the show because as I was talking to the DA, we mentioned that you were a part of a group of individuals, plaintiffs, including Mayor Lee Harris and your colleague G.A. Hardaway and J.B. Smiley and several other individuals who filed suit. An injunction basically saying that the governor was wrong. He had no legal right or authority to bring the National Guard in based on the parameters upon which one does that without consulting with their state legislature. You won that case, and it is now up for appeal. So in reference to all of this, when the decision came down initially, Gabby, what was your thought? Did you after you all filed, did you feel good about it? What did you think about what could happen there?
Yeah. So when the opportunity, when I found out that the deployment of the National Guard was going to happen, I wrote a letter to the governor. This is before it was made public, because I had heard rumors, and I asked, is really what's going to happen? And under what parameters, and please don't violate your oath in this deployment. Then it came out through the news that the governor had decided to deploy the National Guard. Then we knew that the mayor of Memphis didn't request it, the mayor of the county didn't request it, which is something that they're able to do under our Constitution and under our laws. Absent of those two things happening, the governor is the chief of our military, and our National Guard is our state military of civilians. So in order for him to deploy the National Guard, he would have to consult with the legislature, and that's under our Constitution and its laws. So when we started asking these questions, and we knew that the other two things hadn't happened in terms of local government wanting their presence here or requesting their presence here, we knew that that the legislature hadn't met. And I think this is what's scary and should scare everybody that cares about our laws being a country and a state of law and order, that no one should be above the law, not even the governor or the president. You can't enforce and say you're for law and order and be the first one to break the law of our country and of our state. So then, we partnered with Democracy Forward to file the lawsuit, and I knew we had a strong case because none of the things that I mentioned earlier had happened. Right. There's no civil unrest. We're not in this. For example, when we had the hurricane in East Tennessee, the National Guard was deployed. There isn't a natural disaster that happened in Memphis where you're not in the middle of a pandemic, and none of the legislature had approved this. So I knew we had a really strong case going forward. I sat in the stands watching the Attorney General's team and the governor's team argue, and our team argue, obviously, for the plaintiffs. And I knew some of this already, that was what was being presented, but to hear it in the setting of a court under oath, the fact that the judge asked of the governor's team, what is the order? Is there a physical order that you sent out outside of the press release of what the National Guard is tasked to do? And they said, no, that doesn't exist.
Yeah, this all comes down really to, based on what you just said and confirmed, kind of an abuse of power. I mean, when you can, and I have stated on this show, and many other people have said, this is appealing to a party of one in terms of an audience here. So now we're in the process of the appeal. And of course, there was a bit of a press event tonight. The United States District Attorney came here, and a few other folks were down here as well, touting the success of all of this. And I think this is an attempt to try to convince some folks, here that you know what, we need to keep this going for as long as we can because we're making strides here. This sets a bad precedent. It really does. And based on state law, which is what you quoted, none of the metrics that would allow for a governor to issue such an order exist in this at all. So do you feel now, and your team feel, I'm sure you've all met and have conversations while this is going into the appeal process, do you all feel pretty good about the fact that it's going to be kind of hard to prove otherwise in terms of the governor's case?
So when the judge sent out her decision, it was a 37-page document, and I've read through all of it, and I think that in the way that she wrote about her decision and the citations that she made regarding and the references that she made, I do think that we will continue to have a very strong case even through the appellate process. Obviously, we have checks and balances in our country and in our state. So a lot of the judges that we're going to be dealing with are judges that have been appointed by the Republican Party. But the same was of the judge that we saw in Chancery Court. So I do think that our case is still very strong. And I think one of the things that the governor and his team were arguing was that because this is an executive order, and he is the commander-in-chief of our military in the state, that the judicial branch has no power or no say in this. And I think that, to me, as a when I was studying to become a U.S. citizen, that is one of the fundamental aspects of what makes our country, and our state, is that we have three strong branches of government and that each one has a check and balances on the other. So I thought that was very surprising, but I feel very confident about our appeal, or our defense through the appeal process as well.
Yeah, I was going to say that this is going to be very interesting when all of this, whenever the decision is being made. Let me shift gears quickly because I want to ask you about the situation with ICE and the immigrant population, which is really going through, and a lot of people are paying closer attention to what is happening in reference to all of this. I know it disturbs you. It disturbs a lot of other folks. When you see and when you hear and when you talk to folks about all of this, I mean, this to me really smacks negative on a lot of levels. It's very intimidatory. It just seems like there's profiling going on. What's your take?
Well, it's very similar to what we saw with stop and frisk in New York and the Supreme Court decision that took place there, of that just because you were Black, you were stopped and frisked for the possessions of guns. I think that case is very similar to what we're seeing here in Memphis and in Tennessee, where we're seeing areas that are high Black and brown communities being stopped. And, this is not a targeted approach at crime. This is, let's racially profile everyone in these communities and then ask questions later and then come up with the numbers later after we have scared these communities. So we have seen reports of racially profiling, and we've seen this not only here in Memphis, but throughout the country, where you see Hispanics that are citizens be pulled over and deported or put in detention because they're seeing that, their documents are not real. Or so this doesn't happen if they weren't racially profiling. It's like how I read of a case that, the real ID that has the star on it. Someone presented that, and that's supposed to be one of the best ways of proving that you're supposed to be, that all your papers are in order. And the person that was being interviewed said, well, no, that's fake. So that's what we're seeing. Wow. And it's because they're targeting Black and brown communities. And what I've said to the mayor of Memphis specifically is that this does not make us safer when communities are scared to report crime as a result of being scared of deportation or further action, or just as a mistrust. crime goes unreported, and when crime goes unreported, then criminals go free. And not only do the people in the community that are victims of crime feel this, criminals also know this, and they target already vulnerable populations because they know that they're not going to report it. And we are a city that has already had a lot of issues with having our trust broken within the police department with the death of Tyree Nichols. So we're trying to repair these things, and then we have this abuse of power that comes and essentially breaks apart all of the work that they've put into trying to restore faith in law enforcement here. And that's what I've said to the mayor. I told him, I was like, so what's going to happen when they leave? Because the people that are going to be left with the mess is going to be us. It's going to be you. And I think that's something that he's trying to look at. But there's going to be irreparable damage that is done in these relationships.
It's a shame. Listen, I'm about out of time, but I want to have you back on the show. If you're willing to come back, I'm absolutely willing to have you back. And I really appreciate you taking the time. I appreciate your efforts on behalf of so many that you represent. Tennessee State Representative Gabby Salinas, ladies and gentlemen. Really appreciate your time. Thank you for your insight and your input and your fight. And we look forward to seeing what comes down the road next. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you.
Thank you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you very, very much. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Tennessee State Representative Gabby Salinas, one of the folks behind the push to say, Governor Lee, what you're doing is not right, and what you're doing, more importantly, is not legal in reference to the National Guard. We shall see how all of this unfolds. I promise you I will be watching. Let's take one final break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about your health. Well, your health, my health, and all of our health. We have the interim director of the Shelby County Health Department on standby. And let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
If you like Real Talk, here's a way you can get involved. Do you have a show topic idea or suggestion? Want to be considered a guest or have a guest idea? Then send Chip a message on his Real Talk show page and you can be a part of the Real Talk experience. So as he always says, go out and tell somebody. We'll be right back. Get Real Talk on the TuneIn mobile app under WYXR, and he's now streaming live on Facebook. And you can also catch a rebroadcast on YouTube. Just put WYXR in the search box and hit subscribe. Now back to more Real Talk with Chip Washington.
And welcome back to Real Talk Memphis on this Monday evening. Chip with you. Glad to have you with us. I hope you've been with us this evening. Been a great show so far. And my next guest is someone I've known for a few years now. And let me just simply put it, he cares about your health. He cares about all of us. He is the interim director of the Shelby County Health Department, my friend, Dr. Bruce Randolph. And he joins me now. And Doc, it's great to see you. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. Feeling good.
Well, you
Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for taking some time. We had a little abbreviated session last week, and I thought it was worth the time to move forward. Now, you had a session, I think it was Friday, I believe it was, here in the city. You were talking about health disparities and a lot of other things. You talked with church leaders and other folks. Tell me a little bit about that, and how did that go?
It went well. So it was held at the Benjamin Hooks Library on Friday. And we had several pastors and church leaders. Could have had more, but the first go round. But it went very well. Those who participated found it informative. We really talked about the health disparities that exist in Shelby County. particularly in the Memphis area, South, North Memphis. And we did a little comparison between the health status of citizens in certain zip codes in South and North Memphis compared to Collierville and Germantown to see the difference in the health status as well as the socioeconomic status.
So in terms of that, obviously there is a difference, and I mean you talked about having the religious community there. Clearly, that is a group that you feel has quite a bit of power and influence in reference to these communities. No.
Yes, because when we're talking about the social determinants of health, the conditions and circumstances in which people are born, live, work, actually age and die, the church and the faith-based community play a major role in terms of having influence on individuals. We believe that when we're looking at the social and economic factors contributing to the health status of a population, you're dealing with more than just biology. You're dealing more than just the physical. We believe that there's also spiritual and mental aspects that needs to be addressed. We're approaching health from a standpoint of total wellness, well-being of spirit, mind, and body. And we feel that the church plays a very important role. Church is really now one of the only independent organization that we sort of have in our community. And I feel that the church must play a greater role in not only promoting health, but also history, culture, and heritage.
Yeah, you know, that is that's a lot for you to try to take on and really let people know and understand that there's viability in what you're talking about and the total wellness. And I've known you for a few years now, and this has been something that's really been on a laser. You've been on a laser beam about all of this. Mind, body, and spirit all have to work together in order for us to be a healthier human being, a healthier person overall. Correct?
Correct. And it's in line with what the World Health Organization had defined health a long time ago when they say that health is the complete well-being physically, socially, and mentally, and not just the absence of disease, infirmity. And so what we have to understand, and the message I tried to get across even in the presentation, that there are factors that contribute to your overall health, the health of a people. There are systems that have impact, economic, social, political systems that also play a role. And really, to achieve total wellness, you have to address well-being from various perspectives.
When you look at it from that perspective, Doc, I mean, clearly you're asking this community to do more, and really all of us really need to do more to help to increase the health of us as a community. As the head man at the health department, is that one of the priorities for you to really let people know and understand this is where we are, this is why we are where we are, but more importantly, if we do this, we can pick ourselves up and move ourselves into a more positive direction. Am I right about that?
You're absolutely right. That is our position. What we feel is that we want to, one, inform people with knowledge, with data, with information. I believe that once people know, they do. And so we want to empower people with knowledge, but also with motivation, and help them realize that they have power. They have the ability to act. They have the ability to produce an effect and to determine outcome. And so, and they have that power individually. So you have the power to move your body, to manage stress, to eat healthy, more vegetables, fruits, less fat, salt, sugar. You have the power to have faith and practice the principles of your faith, but you also have power to impact policy, because policy also has an impact on your health and well-being, i.e. policy such as whether or not there is an expansion of TN care, in society. There's policy as it relates to the Affordable Care Act. So those are policy decisions that are made by people who are representative of the people. So we the people have power to impact change.
And because we have that power, we need to be able to use that power, because if we do, we could be very effective in what happens down the road. Real quick here. Next Monday is AIDS Awareness Day, right? It's World AIDS Day, correct?
World AIDS Day, yes.
Anything in particular you all working on in terms of all?
Yeah, each year we have a big celebration. We celebrate the World AIDS Day, and this year we're doing it also. And the whole purpose is to, one, remember and honor those who have gone before us, who have passed on, transitioned from AIDS, to also honor and acknowledge those who are currently living with HIV, and also to encourage and promote the prevention, the testing, and the treatment of HIV. That's another motto we have, PTT, prevention, testing, and treatment.
Absolutely. Well, Dr. Bruce Randolph, ladies and gentlemen, he is the interim director of the Shelby County Health Department. Doc, it's great to see you. I wish you and the family a very happy Thanksgiving, and stay up, stay healthy, man. And you're always welcome back on this show. You know that.
Hey, thank you. Now, I will come anytime you invite me.
Thank you, my friend. You take care. I'll talk to you soon.
You have happy Thanksgiving, you and your family.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. And we're about to get out of here now. Before we do, there's a little show that comes on after this show. It's called Event Horizon, and my good friend and my board producer, Bren Butler, is the host of that show. Bren, we're getting close to Thanksgiving. You got any turkey songs tonight, bro?
I should have thought of that a little harder while making my set list. But before Christmas, at least, I'll probably throw in some family-friendly stuff you can play, for family gatherings and stuff like that.
Okay, well, cool. In the meantime, we're looking forward to another great episode of Event Horizon coming your way in just a minute with
That's right.
with my guy Brent as he plays us out. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being a part of what we do each and every week here on this broadcast. And if you like what we do, go ahead and tell somebody. And if you've never seen the show, it's on Facebook Live, obviously. And if you've never heard it, we're a podcast. So listen to the podcast. It's out there. It will be available in a couple of days. And look, we really appreciate it. And I want to extend my personal wish to each and every one of you out there for a very happy, healthy, prosperous, safe Thanksgiving holiday. Many of you are about to get out of town if you've not gotten out of town already for an extended weekend. Please be safe. Please be safe. Watch yourself and watch out for other folks, because they may not be watching out for you on this holiday. So for all of us here at Real Talk Memphis, for Bren, for lovely Lola, and for yours truly, thank you, Memphis. Can't thank you enough. Really appreciate you. Take care. And until next time, we are out. Talk to you soon.